Alright guys, today we are watching SpongeBob's Cultural Impact Explained. I'm super excited because I grew up watching SpongeBob. I feel like SpongeBob gave me my humor and it made me really, really stupid. So let's find out how it impacted us. First off, everybody say hi to YouTube. Go on, chat. Say hello to our YouTube viewers. Hi YouTube, let's go. We love YouTube. Good job, chat. You're so behaved today. Okay, let's go.
Ugly and proud? Do you know what this is? Or that? Or this? Or that? Well...
I hate this channel.
No! No!
We're gonna be looking into how SpongeBob raised you, why it stood out so much, the reason parents hated it, and the effect it's had on us as a society. If you, for some reason, need a quick recap of what the show is about, here it is.
You wanna see me do it again?
SpongeBob SquarePants first aired on Nickelodeon in 1999, created by Stephen Hillenburg,
1999 mention, let's go!
a former marine biologist. The show follows SpongeBob's wacky antics in Bikini Bottom alongside a wide range of memorable side characters. Although he acts like a child most of the time, he lives on his own in a house and also has a stable full-time job that he loves. So that's how you know
Chat, SpongeBob is doing better than me, bro. He got a full-time job and a house, bro. That's great. In this economy, I could never be like that. That's sad that SpongeBob is more successful than me. Damn, I was one. Yeah, this came out the year I was born.
this is a fictitious cartoon. It's safe to say that SpongeBob is canonically an adult, as is the main cast. That's really important here because no other children's program at the time had characters like that. It allowed the show to explore certain topics that normally wouldn't be touched at all, such as fair labor practices.
Mr. Krabs is in there, standing at the concession, plotting his oppression.
Mundane domestic dreariness.
Coming to bed, honey?
Yes, dear.
And having to dispose of a body. You know, stuff adults have to worry about.
What? Chat, I just remembered. Why is he disposing of this body, bro? SpongeBob committed murder? I love that he's spraying it because it stinks. The Nasty Patty episode? Oh yeah, I forgot the disposal of the health inspector. That is fucked up.
Of course, we really didn't think about that when we were watching. We were too busy absolutely losing it over the number 25. The show was able to successfully blend together the surface level visuals of a promising kids show with obvious care and effort put into its humor. This helped it appeal to many different age groups, as it didn't talk down to a younger viewer with its lessons, while at the same time not being too stale and predictable for someone that's older. It also helps that there were a lot of adult jokes sprinkled in.
Patrick, your genius is showing.
Where?
I feel like
Gary!
But aside from that, where its humor really shines is when it's at its most absurd. Take for example, the iconic pizza delivery episode. In it, SpongeBob and Squidward are tasked with delivering a pizza, but they end up getting stranded and lost. This is obviously not good. How are they gonna get back so the customer can get their order? Throughout the episode, SpongeBob repeatedly refers to what the pioneers did in order to survive and navigate. Obviously, Squidward doesn't take any of that seriously, and even has to bail out SpongeBob because he was following one of those sick pioneer pro tips. You can't tell directions based off of where moss grows, or hitchhike by doing a funky dance.
This is like unlocking so many memories for me, chat. Krusty Krab pizza? Okay, you guys were talking about the Krusty Krab pizza. Krusty Krab pizza is a pizza for you and me. I don't remember that. I don't remember the Krusty Krab pizza.
Dance? So obviously, you can't drive a rock. In that same episode, the mobile rock isn't even the joke with the biggest payoff either.
We have just enough time to make it back to work.
Why are we still here? Just to suffer?
After everything they went through, they basically went in a giant circle on a journey that could have been easily avoided. A lesser show would have had both of them right off into the sunset for a nice happy ending, but no, not our show.
Not
No, you don't get to the top
SpongeBob.
and win 20 Kids' Choice Awards by being subpar? Come on. However, SpongeBob wasn't the first kids show like this. Ren and Stimpy and Animaniacs shared similar types of comedy, but they were a few years too early. The stars aligned when SpongeBob came out. It was the best moment for it to really shine and cement its legacy. It was the perfect show for the generation that gets to grow up alongside.
Tonight, the information superhighway and one of its main thoroughfares, an online network called Internet.
The
Everyone I know is on
internet.
it. Email, instant messages. There's no better way to keep in touch.
You've got mail.
They made the internet easier than ever.
Do you, Yahoo?
Now with 56K, connections are faster than ever.
Well, the AOL Time Warner mega merger yesterday has put the word broadband in the news. Well, what is broadband?
Oh, that little mark with the A and then the ring around it?
At.
See, that's what I said.
Well, Allison should know.
What is
Stop, they don't know what the at
see, I
symbol
don't,
means.
I don't agree. I think the internet, I don't think we've even seen the tip of the iceberg. I
Who
think
is
the
that?
potential of what the internet is going to do to society, both good and bad, is unimaginable. I think we're actually on the cusp of something exhilarating and terrifying.
Alright, so here we are, one of the elephants.
All the best videos. The best things to come out of the internet.
Got any grapes?
I used to love the grape duck. The OG YouTube. I can't look at this video. This video's traumatized me.
Imagination.
Within meme culture, SpongeBob got an early boost in its meme stock back in the early 2010s, and shots from the show have only skyrocketed in popularity since then. There's nothing better when a screenshot and a caption feel like they were just made for each other. At this point, there's so many different images that could fit in so many different situations. Even Nickelodeon recognizes this popularity with meme merch. Okay, actually, really quick rant incoming. No, not about a corporation trying to capitalize on our childhood. That's whatever. Capitalism is gonna capitalism. It's about this thing. I hate it. I hate these so much. I hate its face and the way it's used to mock someone because there's already a frame where SpongeBob does that with his hand.
No!
Don't backsass me!
I really don't understand how this one became one of the most popular ones in general.
I don't like
how?
that picture.
This doesn't make sense. This is why I think that.
20 minutes later.
And that's why I never want to see this thing ever again. Alright? Alright. To put some numbers as to how popular SpongeBob memes are, as of this recording, our Bikini Bottom Twitter, which is just SpongeBob memes essentially, is the 95th largest subreddit. That may not sound so
95th?
impressive, but to put that into context, there are over 130,000 active subreddits, and this one is the biggest subreddit that's
Let's
dedicated to
go.
a specific TV show, with 4.7 million members. That's even surpassing the general r SpongeBob subreddit. There's absolutely no denying the hold that this show has on the internet, but why exactly is it still so popular?
Dude, I feel like it's so popular because, like, who didn't watch SpongeBob as a kid, right? Like, even the kids, my best friend couldn't watch SpongeBob. Her parents wouldn't let her watch SpongeBob. She'd just come to my house, bro, and then we watched SpongeBob together. SpongeBob rules, that's what I'm saying. Everyone watched SpongeBob. And if you didn't watch SpongeBob, like, I just feel like you're not fun. I'm not to judge your childhood experiences, but I don't know.
20 plus years after it first aired. One of those reasons, I'd say personally, as someone who is chronically online and has a grass allergy, is because it has such a huge influence on my own sense of humor. It's like watching the show primed me for memes in general. By the time I saw my first meme, I was ready to go. It's why the most random, ironic, obscure things get a huge laugh out of me. Like, imagine showing your grandparents any of that. They'd combust on the spot from not being able to understand what they just saw. But back to my main point there, I'm sure other fellow meme enjoyers can relate to having the revelation that their sense of humor makes no sense sometimes. Actually, wait, hold on. Nah, never mind. Memes were a mistake. I take it all back. Video's over. Additionally, and this is probably the reason that's contributed the most to its longevity, SpongeBob is a shared experience. You and I don't know each other. By the way, hi, I'm Liuss. Please sub if you're enjoying this so far, thank you. But if you clicked on this video, we both likely have seen the same episodes.
100%,
We've used
yeah.
the same jokes with our friends. We may have even shared the exact same memes before. That's the beauty of all of this. Everyone can get in on the joke. Well, except maybe the ones that couldn't watch or weren't allowed to watch growing up. Those people won't even truly appreciate this image, and my heart breaks for them. But it's that nostalgia for a lot of us that'll never make us tired of these. It helps us remember a time where stuff was easier, where our biggest worry was making sure we could get to the TV on time for the newest episode. That nostalgia, in turn, helps keep the show alive. The internet is an ever-changing landscape, where breaking news becomes yesterday's news in about an hour. So for something to not just continuously survive, but to thrive, it has to keep on changing. That's exactly what we've been doing whenever we reach into our bank of childhood memories to grab a funny screenshot and use it for something relatable that the SpongeBob team never intended for it. And yet, for how much we love this show, certain people didn't. Certain people that at one point in our lives decided whether or not we get Dino Nuggies for dinner, so we had no choice but to listen to them. Even though they still let me watch it, my own parents didn't like SpongeBob. Not because they thought the hijinks and tomfoolery that was shown would rub off on me, or because there was an entire episode of swearing.
Hi, Squidward! How the are ya?
And not even because of certain grotesque body horror scenes, but rather, the reason they didn't like it was because it used a word that was treated like a slur in my household, where if you said it, everyone looked at you like you just told them all to f*** off or something. That word being, stupid.
Stupid?
Where was I? Furthermore, lots of parents didn't like it because they thought it was too violent or too influential or...
My parents thought that SpongeBob would make me, like, really dumb. But low-key, chat, like, I'm not being a hater, but I feel like the humor in SpongeBob is stupid. It's dumb, okay? And we ate that up, and look at us, okay? 25 years later, we're sitting here on a Vtuber stream, okay? You guys just laughed at the word E. Yeah. Wait, I fear that's a cope. I'm not coping. I'm not coping.
Because they thought it was just plain dumb and they didn't want their kids to end up like that. As if watching SpongeBob actually makes kids... Oh.
He may live in a pineapple under the sea.
He lives in a pineapple under the sea.
He lives in a pineapple under the sea.
But
not
there's a new study that shows SpongeBob SquarePants might not be good for your child's brain.
It can cause short-term attention and learning problems.
Could threaten your child's development.
Back in 2011, the University of Virginia published a study about SpongeBob's effect on young minds. Using 4-year-olds, they had 20 kids watch SpongeBob, 20 Caillou, and 20 just drew whatever on paper. Afterwards, they were asked to complete a series of simple tests. Out of the 3 groups, the kids that watched SpongeBob did the worst. Okay, well, I guess that's irrefutable proof, right? SpongeBob SquarePants makes children stupid. Just look at this official science chart.
What
look
if
at
they
how
were
badly
already
these kids
stupid?
did. They're never going to college at this rate. The reason they did so poorly compared to the others is because, in comparison with Caillou, there's a lot going on. And
chat, I have never watched this show in my life. I don't know what this is, but his face scares me. It looks like he has 2 mouths. His nose looks like a separate mouth. And his free, like, it looks like a little smiley face above his... Caillou is a punk-ass bitch? Oh my god, chat, why do we all hate him? It was so annoying. You tell him, Coma. You tell him. Oh my god. A punk-ass bitch. Well, we're not watching this punk-ass bitch. We're watching SpongeBob.
and SpongeBob.
What is this?
Remember the pool today?
Yes. Yes.
Caillou wanted to swim and dive, just like the big boys and girls.
As a result of that, their small, tiny brains pretty much got tuckered out. They were too mentally fatigued to do well on those tests. That's why the kids that didn't watch any TV at all and instead had some drawing time did the best. So yeah, once again, if you watch SpongeBob, then you're just flat out dumb, right?
Wrong!
Here's why all of these new stories are just a lot of... The media needed a story and it got one. These sensationalized headlines are so much catchier for suburban moms that already didn't like the show. It reinforced their own beliefs without really giving it a second thought. Even one of the study's own researchers, upset by how oversimplified their findings were being presented, commented on all of this, saying that SpongeBob is making you dumber is very different than saying a child's attention is temporarily impaired and that...
You know what? Maybe if your kids are dumb, you should, like, I don't know, help them. Give them a book or something. Don't blame my man SpongeBob. Don't blame him. Piss off. I watched SpongeBob and I was one of the top kids in my class back in the day. Let's go. Let's go. Beating the allegations. Good job, chat. I'm proud of you.
We don't know what the long-term impacts are.
That's
Our
right.
brain is like a muscle. When we watch something with a bunch of sounds, a bunch of cuts, and a bunch of action, our brain is working more, so it's going to be more fatigued. That's what was being highlighted in this study, to better understand how certain things affect the way a toddler thinks. So it only makes sense that the SpongeBob kids did the worst.
I don't like that
but
brain,
here's the
bro.
real kicker here. Remember when I said the study was made up of 4-year-olds? SpongeBob is rated TVY7, as in it's rated for 7-year-olds. The game was rigged from the start. That little piece of information was missing from so many news stories. It got so bad that Nickelodeon even had to give a statement. Having 60 non-diverse kids who are not part of the show's targeted demo watch 9 minutes of programming is questionable methodology. It could not possibly provide the basis for any valid findings that parents could trust. I can't believe I'm gonna side with the corporation, but they're kinda right. The sample size was tiny and the whole thing got irresponsibly reported on. Like I mentioned earlier, SpongeBob makes your kids dumb is a much catchier headline than watching SpongeBob or any other show outside of your child's age range temporarily limits their cognitive abilities, reducing their puzzle solving skills and shortening their immediate patience. Also, out of all the other educational kids cartoons they could have chosen, Caillou? This piece of...
Bro, why does everyone hate him?
I don't like Rosie.
No, I'm gonna stop right there. Just look forward to the 3-hour video essay on why Caillou is the absolute worst character in any piece of fiction.
Chat, should we watch this video next? Just because I don't know this little man's lore, you know what I mean? I don't know why people hate him, why people despise him. And I want to know. And maybe I want to be a hater too, an educated hater. He's such a brat. I mean, he was just pinching a baby, bro. That's illegal. Illegal.
Now, back to SpongeBob. Despite everything, be it disgruntled parents or starving media, we still care a lot about the show. Even if we haven't watched a single episode in years, it's still pretty relevant to our lives. Especially if you're in West Virginia, apparently. According to Google Trends, they're the most interested in SpongeBob, so big shout out to the West Virginians watching. Aside from the usual internet memes, there have been 2 notable events that really brought fans together.
It's a sad day for residents of Bikini Bottom. Stephen Hillenburg, creator of SpongeBob SquarePants, has passed away.
He's kind of handsome.
Well, there's a sink sponge, so I drew a square one, and I immediately locked on to the idea of this undersea nerd. And from that point on, I thought, well, that's the start, SpongeBob.
20 years ago, I got a call to go see a man about a sponge. The man was Stephen Hillenburg, and his sponge wound up conquering the world.
I don't really have an idea that I'd want to torture myself over for several seasons. And then Martin was looking at the intertitle comic that I had, and he said, "What are you, crazy? This is your show right here."
One of the greatest, nicest human beings, senseis, teachers, artists that it has ever been anyone's pleasure to work with, Stephen Hillenburg.
The unfortunate passing of the show's creator touched all of us. Fans, of course, wanted to memorialize him in a special way. With the timing of all this, the Super Bowl was just in a few months. So naturally, what everyone thought of was... Band Geeks is arguably one of the best, if not the best, SpongeBob episode ever made. It's full of memorable lines, remarkable jokes, and an unforgettable musical performance at the end. The idea for this song to be performed at the Super Bowl by the halftime show headliners Maroon 5 grew to the point that a change.org petition for it received over 1.2 million signatures. Of course, having a popular change.org petition doesn't always mean that thing will happen, but it was enough to give this idea more credibility. After this is when the hype for it really exploded. On December 12, 2018, the event's venue, the Mercedes-Benz Stadium, tweeted this GIF from the Band Geeks episode. Then, a few weeks before the big night, Maroon 5 tweeted out a promo for their performance. It was just a regular kind of video, hyping it all up, but wait, what?
No way! No way they even put SpongeBob in their promo video?
Everybody stay calm!
What's the procedure, everyone? What's the procedure?
Stay calm! Wait! Everybody calm down!
Aw yeah, here we go. We hecking did it. I remember being so hyped for this that I organized a whole watch party. My birthday always falls on Super Bowl weekend, so I got a bunch of my friends together to celebrate my birth, but more importantly, to bear witness to this event that we'll tell future generations about. Keep in mind, we were not sports people. We were gamers. Mario sports games pretty much set the bar for what sports was for me, so if it didn't have power-ups, I wasn't interested. To be quite frank, I don't really even know what the rules for football are, but yet I had to watch. For this, for SpongeBob, for Steven Hillenburg's tribute, and on that fateful night, we got this.
And now, a true musical genius who needs no introduction.
It's lit!
That's it?
Fans were not happy for the most part. All this hype and anticipation for a really quick cameo? Yeah, while it may be true that it's better than nothing and that we weren't really owed anything, it still stung.
Yeah, they just
this was a dream of a generation. From the moment we saw that episode, we all thought how cool it'd be to see that performed live one day, and here was this amazing opportunity, a once-in-a-lifetime chance for it to happen on a giant stage like this, and for such a good reason, to honor the life of its creator, and it was fumbled, to say the least. Many do truly believe it, and it makes even more sense when you consider just how iconic this yellow square guy really is. SpongeBob is up there in the realm of animated giants, alongside characters like Mickey Mouse and Bugs Bunny. As of 2019, the franchise has netted in over $13 billion in merchandise revenue alone. It's the most profitable property to come out of the entire Paramount family. Given that, it's no surprise that Nickelodeon treats SpongeBob like, well, a sponge, continuously squeezing every bit of its worth out. They've of course found success with other shows, but none of them come close to SpongeBob's star power. That's why it's the second longest running animated children's series in the US, falling just 2 years shy of Pokemon. If you go on Nickelodeon right now, there's a really good chance that SpongeBob is playing. It's their cash cow. Of course they're gonna milk it, be it with TV schedule blocks, movies, or even spin-offs that they think we're apparently excited about. There are plenty of reasons to hate on the spin-offs, but for the sake of fairness, I gotta address a rumor real quick. A lot of people cite that spin-offs are just straight up disrespectful.
Something I really hate about modern day animation and things that these companies are doing is I despise this weird what is this animation, this gross looking what happened to Sandy Hook? What happened here? I just cannot stand this. I don't like it at all. Why change something that's not, broken, right? Why fix something that's not broken? The animation is not even hand-drawn anymore. It's cheap, and that's why they did it. Dude, it loses its charm, you know what I mean? The appeal. CGI and 3D, is ass. It is so ass. It looks terrible. They're milking SpongeBob harder than me on a Friday night. Bro, nobody is milking you on a Friday night, man.
To Steven Hillenburg's legacy because he reportedly didn't want any, and that Nickelodeon waited until his passing to go ahead with them. That's not exactly the truth. As a SpongeBob showrunner put it, Hillenburg has gone on record saying that he didn't see a spin-off happening, not that he didn't want one to happen. In fact, he was even aware of its production before his passing. So with that being said, it really is a shame seeing modern SpongeBob as a whole. I know this is gonna sound like a back in my day SpongeBob was good kind of thing, but I mean, there's a reason we care about the first few seasons the most. Heck, even kids nowadays love the earlier episodes more. It all just seemed more authentic back then. Yeah, it's got a bigger budget now, so it's shinier and cleaner, but that's just really uncanny for a lot of us. Not to mention how the latest seasons focus way more on slapstick, visual gags, and gross out close-ups. We had that too, but they were so well written, so well placed and spaced out that they felt earned.
Does this look unsure to you?
Modern SpongeBob lost that focus and essentially watered itself down. It was new and exciting and pushed the envelope, and now just seems like a typical children's show. Haha, they made a funny face.
I can't tell the difference between the old and new.
Now they're all making funny faces. The characters have also become severe victims of Flanderization, where somewhere along the way, they all essentially just lost their depth. SpongeBob is immature and acts like a kid. Patrick, dumb. Uh-oh, Squidward's grumpy, so he deserves to live in complete and utter agony, I guess? If the earlier seasons could be compared to a Krabby Patty, modern SpongeBob is what almost killed the health inspector. But despite the current state of the show, that doesn't detract from what we experienced growing up. We still have all those good memories, and I think we should just focus on that. To take a moment to realize how lucky we are to have experienced all of this, and to focus on the simpler times of our childhoods. Like when we cheered when SpongeBob and Patrick came back to life, or when I spent a whole 2 months allowed.
Chat, I want to have a movie night tomorrow and watch this movie. This SpongeBob movie was like, oh my god, I've seen this movie so many times. It is such a phenomenal movie, and we have to watch it together. That movie was goated. That's what I'm saying. That'll be fun. Guys, we all have to hold hands in the Discord and watch this movie together. 2004 SpongeBob was amazing. This movie, the movie was peak. Is this the movie where he has like the rock song? I haven't seen it since it came out. The movie is a true ending to SpongeBob. Alright guys, we're gonna watch it. Can I sit next to Mika? Yeah, chat. Alright, everyone needs to buddy up. Buddy system for movie night.
Allowance on SpongeBob books at the Scholastic Book Fair, or how for some reason the walk cycle kinda scared me. Now that I think about it, the outro music in A Dark Room at Night was kinda spooky too. As long as we remember that we share this one thing, that this is what we all have in common, I think we'll be alright. Thanks for watching.
Let's go! Chat, that was a good video! Alright, so we've come to the conclusion that 1, SpongeBob does not make you dumber. Number 2, the new SpongeBob sucks. And number 3, we all love SpongeBob. Let's go. Thank you for watching, Mommy. Thank you.